Well, I just came back from a very long walk. I had to pick up some clear nail polish because a lot of employers like people wearing some nail polish, and the clear nail polish is the best one, and I have every color but clear. So I went to the store, I found a really cheap. I was gonna buy a $13 brand from Chemist Warehouse, with F1. But then, Target, I went to Target and I bought a $3.50 brand, which is, more my pocket. I don't like to necessarily spend money on things, especially when I don't know the frequency when I'm going to use them. So to save myself wasting money and having the item dry out before I use it, I just go for the cheaper brand. And I know this brand because I've been using their pink nail polish on my toenails, quite a bit in the past couple of years. And so it makes me confident in the brand, confident that it's okay for my nails and no allergic reactions pretty much. So I'm really happy I finally got that because that's sort of something that I've been meaning to get for quite a long time. But as regards to my interview, I couldn't go. I just know it's a media job. It's possibly got its violence attached to it, so I just couldn't do it. So I cancelled it by text message, like 1.5 hours before it was supposed to be. But I'm not confident in the location or the job itself. I tried my best to find out what I could about the company, but it doesn't seem to exist, on the internet, or it's very hard to find. So that sort of didn't really pick up my spirits about going to it. But I'm pretty sure it's a media marketing job. But I think this one's connected to the modeling agency, possibly. It's right next door to a modeling agency, but I just couldn't, in my mind, I just couldn't get over how little I believe in the company being legitimate. Because even on the booking sheet, you're booking yourself to see a teacher, and so they're possibly a trainer for the modeling company, which is like next door. I was interested in it because I thought it might be affiliated with some sort of modeling group, which interests me because I sort of have a half interest in modeling groups. I know I used to want to be a model when I was a lot younger, and so if it did have some sort of introduction to a modeling group in some way, even a loose affiliation, I would probably maybe even do a course. I don't know, but at the same time, I don't look that great. I'm not in my best form. I don't have the best skin right now, so I'm not directly interested in modeling. I just thought it would be possibly a little bit affiliated with something modeling, So, but my daydreams couldn't stop thinking it's illegitimate. The guy, the company, the emails weren't directed to me in the first place. It was directed to nobody, but I did get a confirmation email that was directed to me. But I was trying my best to get dressed for it, and I was like just wigging out. So I look at it on the map. It's in the same complex as a billiards business and a bottle shop business. And I'm like, well, I love billiards. I love to play them. I used to go to rundown billiards companies to play pool in my younger years. But the bottle shop deters me a little bit. I don't like to be near bottle shops too much. But you always walk around bottle shops, even Coles, and see if we have a bottle shop attached to them. But It may not have been a big deal. Maybe it just looks uglier on the outside than actually going on the inside. I didn't bother going to the building. I just said, no, this is a media job. I'm not going to like it. People are going to try and get you to do stuff with other people, possibly, or it's going to be violent. I know I've been to one or two kind of violent media groups, and I don't like them when they're violent. I like them when they're non-violent. Like, I've been to around 4 or 5 non-violent media groups. Often I don't get employed for media groups anyways, but I don't necessarily, like, I definitely don't like doing face-to-face. I don't mind doing public speaking, but I don't like to be face-to-face asking people, oh, what's your favorite color, what did you have for breakfast, oh, I like your top, do you like, or something sort of like that. I don't like that stuff. It's not just distressing, I just don't like to do it. So it's not sort of what I want to do for a work job, but like I said, I couldn't get around my mindset, and thinking it was no good media job, one of the harsh media rooms. If every media room I had been to was positive, and non-violent, I'd be like, yeah, this is going to be cool. All it is a positive, funky atmosphere with music, and in sometimes factories or places which are a little bit barren, but they're still cool. But because I've met violent media groups as opposed to non-violent media groups, I'm just thinking, well, my first impression is this is going to be a violent media group. But then, if it isn't, and it's a legitimate partial model media group, which, has you affiliated with a good lot of money and positivity, I'd be like, missing out on something positive, and I've just been talking to myself until I've weaned myself off from the position. So, I didn't know what to think. I couldn't make up my mind. Trying to get ready for it. I have my clothes there, have my clothes on, and just have to put makeup on it. And I'm not putting makeup on, and I'm like, what gives, I only have 10 minutes to put makeup on, and 20 minutes to get ready for the train, and then I'll be there by with 10 minutes to spare, and I haven't ever visited the building. So I was pretty much running late already. I haven't even gotten properly ready yet. So I was going to go. I was definitely thinking about it. I had the right clothes on. I just couldn't do it. I had a negative mindset because of the fact that nothing's perfect. But if I've missed out an opportunity, so what? I've only avoided an opportunity. There's plenty more there somewhere. So that's what my morning has been about. And I went for a walk to go shopping for clear varnish because I don't have any and I always need it. So I bought it so if I get any further interviews, I can be wearing clear varnish, because sometimes that's the cutting thing with interviews. They check for your fingers to see you're wearing some varnish on them. Sometimes, especially office interviews. But I'm still feeling a bit depressed about this miss. I sort of half think it may be a missed opportunity, but I half feel relief because I don't actually believe it isn't a positive thing somewhere in my mind. And I don't look crash hot for it anyways, but I don't know. Maybe I should have just gone and seen what it's about. But I'm like that. Just missing out on probably the best opportunities because of my mindset is negative towards it. So I'm going to forget about this job. I was very reluctant for it. I was trying to I was trying to stay eager for it, but I just didn't in the end, and it sort of cost me the job opportunity to get the job. So, never mind. I prefer just normal office jobs. I don't really like media. It'd have to be a pretty cushy media job for me to be interested in it. So, I always try and avoid media, but sometimes I just give up and apply for the funky looking advertisements and I end up getting a media interview. So I get to the interview stage okay often, but I don't often get any jobs in the media. I'm not highly considered often. They like girls who are a lot, I don't know, a little bit different looking than what I am, I guess, or I just fail. Like, I used to wear, like, blush makeup, and I was always self-conscious of wearing blush, because I think I look like a bit of a, too outrageous with it on. So I sort of, my first media interviews had me with blush on, and I'm like, I look kind of stupid, don't I? Like, I'm just looking around thinking, and so I had to learn not to put it on, because it just made me feel stupid. You feel like a clown, and you don't feel like it's a positive thing in an interview. You feel like it's a negative, because everyone's thinking, I could have put that makeup on better than you can. So, but I've never gotten a media job so far, and I'm not saying that I would have definitely gotten this job. I just, had a possibility that I could go through the running to get it, but I wasn't keen on it. There's always people who look like they belong to a media group in the city, and I don't really like to be near them, so, every time someone tries to pick you up somehow, it's like, oh, that person seems like they're affiliated with something like a media group, and you're like, well, that's a bit of a deterrent, isn't it? But I don't know, I've never actually been in a media group to see what on earth they do and how things run. I just often think, oh, you're going to be peer pressured to do something you don't want to do, aren't you? But I have my age against me in these sorts of interviews anyways. I've got like some grays in my hair, and everyone's thinking, oh, already that I should be applying for like a different kind of job as opposed to a media job. So, but yeah, like I said, there's no definite that I would have gotten this job anyways. I'm not very fit, and I'm not willing to do face-to-face work, face-to-face campaigns, really. I can hand out pamphlets, but, dressing young or, if it was a campaigning group, I'd be like, well, I thought this was a free job, and I'm not willing to go out there and actively campaign in a media way. So, in many ways, I mean, if it was just, giving out pamphlets or something, I could do that, but other stuff I don't do and stuff, but I screwed it up. I screwed up the job, and I'm not going to be probably invited to any more interviews next week. May have been the worst job ever, it may have been the best, I will never know. So I'm getting prepared I'm gonna have to keep doing my workouts, try and get a little bit of a figure back, and keep going for other jobs. So I miss this one.